I'm Muhammed Hamdan and this is Nightline, and here are the top stories. Floods continue to worsen, another fatality recorded. And at least 14 killed in major fire engulfing apartment blocks in Hong Kong. Good morning. The federal government's commitment to Sabah extends beyond the Malaysia Agreement 1963, covering educational development and basic infrastructure. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said under the unity government, Sabah has received the highest allocation for the construction of new schools over the past 3 years.
Ini orang miskin semua. Tunai rahmah. Saya bagi semua. Sebab kalau mau buat masa ada kuasa. Jadi belum selesai betul. Sebab belum selesai 10 tahun kerja kurang. Ada proyek masuk proyek. Air masuk proyek. Jalan masuk proyek.
The Prime Minister also stressed that Putrajaya remains committed to fulfilling the 40% net revenue entitlement for Sabah as outlined in MA 63, adding that this was a matter of policy and principle and not political rhetoric. He added that the federal government has restored Sabah's authority over electricity management and approved an additional 1.2 billion ringgit to strengthen the state's energy infrastructure. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, MMEA, has launched a search and rescue operation for 8 men following reports of a vessel feared to have capsized in the waters off Pulau Perak near Yan Kedah on Wednesday. Kedah and Perlis MMEA Director Romli Mustafa said the incident was reported at 10:45 a.m. by the boat's skipper, who said the vessel was in a dangerous condition about 14.6 nautical miles northeast of Pulau Perak. Following the report, the search operation was activated at 11 a.m. and a vessel was deployed to the scene to conduct an initial assessment and provide immediate assistance. Currently, none of the victims have been found. The Royal Malaysian Navy has also deployed its vessel, KD Ladang, to the area. A cargo ship en route to Port Klang is also assisting in the operation. The flood situation in the country continued to worsen, with another fatality recorded in Kelantan, bringing the death toll to 2. On Wednesday night, 32,609 evacuees are being sheltered in 200 temporary relief centres or PPS nationwide. According to the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, Kelantan remains the worst affected, with 11,033 in 65 PPS across 9 districts in the state. Perlis follows with 6,556 evacuees in 20 relief centres. In Perak, 5,030 victims are taking shelter in 44 PPS, while Kedah has 4,142 evacuees in 18 centres. Terengganu has 3,300 victims across 38 centres, with Marang and Setiu seeing the highest numbers. Selangor reported 2,529 evacuees in 14 PPS, mainly in Kuala Selangor and Sabak Bernam. In Pahang, 19 individuals were evacuated to 1 PPS in Lipis. A second fatality was an elderly woman who died after the car she was in with her daughter was swept away by strong currents in floodwaters in Kampung Bendang Nyor in Kelantan on Wednesday. It was at 3 a.m. that 70-year-old Siti Gayah Zakaria drowned, while her daughter Shamila Suzi Ahmad Basharuddin, 48, survived. Shamila Suzi was driving her mother to a relative's house in Kampung Batu Tujuh when she lost control of her car in strong currents. The Tanah Merah Fire and Rescue Station received an emergency call at 4:13 a.m. and a team of 6 was dispatched to the location. The senior citizen's body was found at 7:49 a.m. not far from the scene of the incident. Her body was then sent to the Tanah Merah Hospital for further action. In Kelantan, the rising water levels of Sungai Golok have forced more residents in Rantau Panjang to be evacuated to temporary relief centres or PPS. Conditions in the area led to the opening of an additional relief centre at Sekolah Kebangsaan Gual Tok Deh. The floods also affected the elderly in Kampung Bendang Perol, with one of the evacuees requiring assistance from fire and rescue personnel. Due to her age and condition, the senior citizen had to be guided through half a metre of flood water before being taken by vehicle to the relief centre. Several other areas in the district were also flooded, including Kampung Tersang, Kampung Tok Deh, Kampung Lachang and Kampung Padang Licin. Meanwhile, in Selangor, 1,846 individuals in Kuala Selangor were forced to evacuate their homes due to worsening flood conditions. This prompted the opening of additional relief centres, bringing the total number of operational centres to 8. According to a spokesman from the Selangor Fire and Rescue Department, the flooding, which was previously concentrated in Desa Aman, has now spread to several other areas. These areas include Ijok, Parit Mahang, Bukit Cerakah and Rantau Panjang in Kampung Kuantan. Among the relief centres sheltering flood victims are Sekolah Kebangsaan SK Parit Mahang, SK Rantau Panjang and SK Desa Aman. The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, and the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, are developing an early flood warning system using Cell Broadcast System or CBS technology. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the initiative aims to replace the current short message service SMS warning system. In his written reply in the Dewan Rakyat, Zahid, who is also NADMA chairman, said the CBS early warning system is more effective in delivering disaster alerts to the public, working faster and more accurately. With this system, he said NADMA will be able to relay early warnings more effectively to communities affected by disasters. He added that the government constantly monitors the effectiveness of the system to ensure its continuous improvement. Now, all residents of the low-cost flats in Taman United Seputeh affected by Monday's landslide have now vacated their homes. 3 families are being housed at the Sri Petaling Community Hall Relief Centre, while 27 others are staying with relatives. Brickfields District Police Chief ACP Hu Chang-hook said the whereabouts of occupants from 22 remaining units have yet to be confirmed. Police believe the missing occupants may be foreign tenants previously renting in the block.
Saya rasa memang dah confirm kosong dah dimaklumkan oleh OCS. Arahan saya senang je. Cuma semalam 8 hingga 9 malam, diorang ada balik sejam untuk kemaskan barang dalam rumah. Untuk ambil barang pakaian dan sebagainya. Kan?
Police have also stepped up security patrols to safeguard residents' property. The landslide affected 2 apartment blocks and damaged 2 cars and several motorcycles. No injuries were reported. Meanwhile, Kuala Lumpur City Hall will begin repair works on the affected slope once clean-up operations at the landslide site are completed. The restoration phase is expected to start in about 4 days, subject to weather conditions. Geotechnical consultants will also conduct soil investigations and prepare a full safety assessment of the slope. Residents will only be allowed to return once authorities confirm the area is secure. Former senior political secretary to the Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Syamsul Iskandar Muhammad Akin, filed a report against controversial businessman Albert Tay at the Sanakan police station on Wednesday. In a statement, he confirmed that the police report was filed following Tay's claims of instructions issued by Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim to make recordings of certain Sabah politicians linked to the Sabah mining scandal. He said the allegations were slanderous and a malicious conspiracy to tarnish the Prime Minister's image and to overthrow the government. Syamsul Iskandar said he would not let anyone use his name or former position to topple the government or sully the Prime Minister's image. He added that he was ready to cooperate with any enforcement body, including the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission. A day earlier, the Malacca PKR chairman said he resigned as the Prime Minister's senior political secretary to defend himself from attacks aimed at tarnishing the government's image.
Lipat baju, lipat kain, bawa belayar.
Earlier, the Prime Minister accepted Shamsul Iskandar's resignation as his senior political secretary. He said the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission is free to carry out an immediate investigation without any external interference. In a statement issued on Wednesday, Anwar stressed that the government remained committed to transparency and integrity. The Prime Minister also expressed his gratitude to Shamsul Iskandar for his service. On Tuesday, a news portal quoted controversial businessman Albert Tay, who claimed that he spent a substantial sum of money on Shamsul Iskandar. Tay was slapped with bribery charges involving 2 Sabah assemblymen relating to mineral licensing in the state. Through a social media post, Shamsul Iskandar claimed there was an attempt to attack him, linking him with matters that could damage the government's image. He added that he then decided to defend himself from the attack. Meanwhile, the MACC said it would immediately investigate Tay's bribery allegations against Shamsul Iskandar. Both parties, it said, would be called in soon for their statements to be recorded. The MACC will also summon other relevant individuals to gather evidence linked to the allegations. The anti-graft body urged the public to refrain from speculation and to allow investigators to carry out their duties objectively. Media Prima Berhad has recorded 198.9 million ringgit in revenue and an after-tax profit of 1.6 million ringgit for the first quarter ended September 30th, 2025. The higher revenue was supported by a 16% increase in non-advertising income, which helped offset a marginal drop in advertising revenue amid challenging market conditions. The group's revenue rose to nearly 200 million ringgit for the period under review, compared to 194.9 million ringgit recorded in the same period last year. Media Prima's core business segments, including its home shopping division, recorded a 21% increase in revenue, supported by higher television sales and an expanded product range. The group's out-of-home advertising segment, Big Tree, recorded a 7% increase in revenue. Its broadcasting segment, which includes Media Prima's television networks and Media Prima Audio, posted a 4% growth in revenue. Group Chairman Datuk Seri Dr. Syed Hussein Al-Junaid said Media Prima continues to display competitiveness in ever-changing market environment. The Board of Directors, he added, is confident of the group's strategy to drive operational efficiency and explore sustainable growth opportunities that will deliver long-term value. Meanwhile, Group Managing Director Datuk Rafiq Razali said the first quarter results reflect the group's effectiveness in integrated strategy and its ability to adapt in a rapidly changing landscape. He noted that the expansion in non-advertising revenue demonstrates the group's efforts to diversify income sources, which are increasingly bearing fruit. Media Prima is also committed to advancing the next phase of its strategy to sustain cross-platform performance and optimize operational efficiency in response to fluctuating advertising expenditure. Malaysia posted 937.5 billion ringgit in e-commerce transactions for the first 9 months of 2025, up by 1.9% from last year. The Department of Statistics Malaysia attributed the increase to strong performances in the second and third quarters. The information and communications technology and e-commerce sectors contributed 23.4% to the national economy last year, worth 451 billion ringgit. Business-to-business transactions continue to dominate e-commerce, alongside strong growth in business-to-consumer and business-to-government segments. This is driven by the expanding use of digital procurement systems and e-payment solutions. Expanding 5G coverage, along with broadband subscriptions, further supports this growth, while data centers and artificial intelligence applications are expected to strengthen the national digital ecosystem. attack on sports journalists. What happened at 2 a.m. at a flat in Cheras? The details after this breather.
Belajar kini lebih semangat dengan TV Tuition. Lebih 5,000 video pembelajaran, lebih 100 hos hebat, terdiri daripada selebriti dan guru berpengalaman. Ulang kaji jadi lebih seronok dengan lebih 10,000 soalan latihan serta ulasan guru yang membantu anda faham dengan cepat dan mudah. Apa tunggu lagi? Langgan sekarang dan stream ditonton. TV Tuition, belajar ditonton, bijak sampai lulus.
Ada yang mau tanya?
Aku hanya ingin mencintai. Aku hanya ingin dicintai. Walaupun banyak yang menentangku, ku hanya ingin bahagia. Bahagia.
Wanita penuh tempo, penuh cerita. Inilah Nona, inspirasi bertemu realiti. Setiap warna mempunyai keupayaan membangkitkan pelbagai mood dan emosi. Semoga istirahat anda memberi makna yang indah walau tempohnya hanya seketika. Dan terus setia sejam bersama kami kerana Nona, inspirasi wanita untuk semua. Nona di TV3 dan stream ditonton.
Terbaru ditonton.
Saya jatuh cinta pada kebaikan dan cara dia menjaga saya selama kami berkahwin.
Sepanjang saya kahwin dengan dia, dia dera saya. Sepanjang saya kahwin dengan dia, dia seksa jiwa dan harga saya yang ada. Sebab tu saya kata dia narsisis.
Saya tahu saya salah.
Kalau betul, at least kau kena fight.
Siapa yang cakap aku betul?
Aku.
Kalau memang betul dia tak nak bagi cerai, dan itu untuk fasad je.
Sejauh mana permainan dia nak buat perangai macam ni?
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Welcome back. Barisan Nasional has expressed confidence that its candidate will be able to reclaim the Kuala Penyu state seat. UMNO Vice President Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said the constituency, long regarded as a BN stronghold, remains strategically important to the party. Kuala Penyu, together with Kliash, under the Beaufort parliamentary seat, has historically been one of BN's safest areas. For this election, BN is fielding Dato' Awang Asli Lakat, a Kuala Penyu native who is facing a 5-way contest for the seat.
Kandidat ni yang kita ada ni, Dato' Awang ni, dia adalah seorang anak jati di kawasan Kuala Penyu. Dia membesar sekolah di sini dan dia berkeluarga di sini. Jadi saya lihat bahawa dah 4 kali pilihan raya, dia miss the boat. Dia tak apa je, tapi dia stay dalam Barisan Nasional dan UMNO dan dia meneruskan kerja-kerja masyarakat dia walaupun dalam keadaan yang serba kekurangan.
Johari, who was speaking to reporters after attending a program with party machinery and voters at the Karukan District Polling Centre, reminded voters to choose leaders who remain loyal to the party's cause. Kuala Lumpur police have arrested a man believed to have been involved in the assault on sports journalist Harish Diol in Bangsa on Tuesday. Brickfields Police Chief Hu Chang-hook said the 37-year-old man had been arrested at a flat in Cheras at 2 a.m. In a statement on Wednesday, Hu said the Kuala Lumpur Magistrates Court had allowed an application to remand the suspect for 3 days until November 28th. He added that the suspect was unemployed and that the attack was personally motivated. Harish was reportedly assaulted by 2 men in Bangsa on Tuesday afternoon. Hu said police received a report from Harish at 4 p.m. on Tuesday on the attack. Harish reportedly suffered injuries to his face, hands and body. Hu said the case was being investigated under the Penal Code for voluntarily causing hurt. In Pulau Pinang, a Nepali man was charged at the Bukit Mertajam Magistrates Court on Wednesday with 2 counts of murdering a woman and her daughter. No plea was recorded from the accused, 35-year-old Dinesh Kumar Mandal, who only nodded in understanding as the charges were read out in Hindi by a court interpreter. According to the charge sheet, Dinesh Kumar allegedly murdered 51-year-old Saria Cik Hin and her daughter, 11-year-old Nur Erina Alisha Abdul Rahim, at her house in Kampung Sekolah Juru on October 18th. The charges were filed under the Penal Code, which provides for the death sentence by hanging or imprisonment between 30 and 40 years and no fewer than 12 strokes of the cane if the death sentence is not imposed. The court denied bail and set January 26 for the next mention, pending the submission of the chemistry report, telephone forensic report and post-mortem report. On October 18th, both victims were found dead at their rented home. Saria's body was discovered in the kitchen with her head nearly severed, while her daughter was found covered in blood on the upper floor. Police also recovered a knife in a nearby bush, believed to be the weapon used by the assailant. In Perlis, a police officer was arrested on Wednesday after the patrol vehicle he was driving collided with two motorcycles in Kanga, killing one rider and injuring another. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Yusharifuddin Muhammad Yusof said initial investigations confirmed negligence by the officer who was driving the vehicle. A video of the incident showing the officer being surrounded by onlookers has circulated widely on social media. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act for causing death by dangerous driving. The accident occurred at 10:20 p.m. on Jalan Persiaran Wawasan on Tuesday when the officer, said to be on patrol, collided head-on with two motorcycles. The 24-year-old rider died at the scene and was taken to Hospital Sultanah Bahia in Alostar, Kedah for post-mortem. Another motorcyclist aged 25 was treated at Hospital Tuanku Fauzia and is in stable condition. Devastation sweeps 6 regencies in North Sumatra. This and more when Nightline returns.
Ada juga cakap dengan abang, nanti abang besar, Mak nak tengok kakak jalan macam abang. Macam teringin lah untuk dia macam budak-budak normal. Doktor dia cakap dia cuma lambat je. Cuma kita je kena sabar.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini, Isnin, kemuliaan Islam di akhir zaman, Selasa, tertib kepimpinan solat, Rabu, ukhuwah dan persaudaraan sejati, Khamis, ikut resmi padi, Jumaat, hak yang diabaikan, Sabtu, keindahan malu, Ahad, dunia sebagai persinggahan. Tanyalah Ustaz, biar tahu, jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9, stream juga ditonton.
Jiwa hati remaja, aku sedang rindu pada malamku bersamamu. Kalbuku mengerang, norma-norma hilang, yang ada hanya rindu.
Kau tak payah petikaikan apa yang aku buat dalam rumah aku sendiri.
Kesian Husna dengan Lufiat. Duduk lama dekat pintu pagar. Macam mana keadaan orang?
Kalau kau tahu aku siapa yang kau tak berani masuk rumah aku lah. Kau tak faham macam mana orang boleh tahan.
Apa dah buat dengan kakak Husna awak ni?
Saya tak ada buat apa-apa pun lah. Husna dah racun Mami.
Tak, akak tak kena apa-apa. Akak okey. Hana tak kisah kalau jadi nombor 2.
Sumpah Ibuku di Akasia TV3.
Onto the foreign front. At least 14 people were killed and dozens injured after a massive fire swept through several high-rise residential blocks in Hong Kong's Tai Po district on Wednesday afternoon. More than 700 firefighters battled the blaze late into the night as thick black smoke poured from the 32-story buildings, which were covered in bamboo scaffolding and green construction mesh. Authorities said the intense heat made it difficult to reach the upper floors, and efforts to bring the fire under control became even tougher after nightfall. A firefighter was among the 14 people killed, and more than 16 others were injured. Local media reported that some residents were still believed to be trapped inside the buildings. The cause of the blaze was not immediately known. At least 13 people were killed after days of torrential monsoon rains triggered floods and landslides across Indonesia's Sumatra island, with overflowing rivers sending mud, rocks and debris sweeping through 6 regencies in North Sumatra. The National Police on Wednesday said rescuers were struggling to reach isolated communities as damaged roads, unstable slopes and ongoing downpours slowed operations. Authorities by Wednesday had recovered at least 5 bodies and 3 injured people in the worst-hit city of Sibolga and were searching for 4 villagers who had been reported missing. In neighbouring central Tapanuli, landslides destroyed several homes, killing 4 members of one family, while floods submerged nearly 2,000 houses and public buildings. The disasters also forced thousands to evacuate. Meanwhile, the death toll from days of widespread flooding in southern Thailand rose to 33 on Wednesday, with more rain forecast. A government spokesman said the causes of death included landslides and electrocution. In the hardest-hit city of Hat Yai, officials said helicopters would deliver food and evacuate critically ill patients after the main government hospital's first floor, treating 600 people, was flooded. The 20 helicopters and 200 boats reportedly involved in rescue efforts have struggled to reach stranded residents. Floods across 9 Thai provinces, including Songkhla, have affected more than 980,000 homes and over 2.7 million people. On to sports now. Football. Malaysia chalked up their 3rd win in the 2026 AFC Under-17 Asian Cup qualifiers after whipping Macau 5-0 in Group C in Hanoi on Wednesday. The match, Alif Ashraf Abdul Rahman netting a hat-trick of headers before Iman Danish Shukor helped himself to a brace for the comprehensive victory at the Vietnam YFTC field. The result moves Malaysia to 9 points from 3 matches, behind group leaders Vietnam, who hold a superior goal difference after defeating Hong Kong 2-0. Javier Horda Ribero's boys are expected to have little trouble maintaining their strong form against Singapore on Friday before taking on hosts Vietnam in their final group match on Sunday. And still on football, the AFC Champions League 2, Selangor finally secured their first point in the tournament as a late strike from Krigor Marais earned a 1-0 draw against Thailand's Bangkok United on Wednesday night. After a goalless first half, the Red Giants, already out of knockout contention, conceded in the 51st minute when Rungraf Fumi Chantuk smashed home a rebound. With defeat looming, Marais rescued Selangor in injury time, finishing across from Alif Izwan Yuslan. The draw is the Red Giants' best result of the season, leaving them bottom of Group G with 1 point. They will conclude the group stage against Singapore's Lion City Sailors at MBPJ Stadium on December 10th. And turning to hockey now, Malaysia's momentum from their second victory was halted as they fell 3-4 to India in the 2025 Sultan Azlan Shah Cup at the Sultan Azlan Shah Hockey Stadium on Wednesday. Malaysia's defence cracked early, conceding in the 7th minute to Karti Selvam, but the speedy Tigers equalised through a Faisal Sari penalty corner in the 13th. India went ahead again in the 21st through Sukhjit Singh's field goal, only for Malaysia to fight back with Muhammad Fitri Sari scoring in the 36th. Amit Rohidas put India back in front from a penalty corner 3 minutes later, and Malaysia equalised again through captain Muhammad Marhan Muhammad Jalil. Yet India sealed the win with a 53rd minute penalty stroke by Sanjay Rana, ending Malaysia's hopes of a second win. The Speedy Tigers now face world number 3 Belgium on Thursday before concluding the round robin against South Korea on Saturday. And that concludes this edition of Nightline. Before we leave, let's take a look as the Milan Cortina 2026 torch relay set off from rainy Olympia on Wednesday, with Greek and Italian sporting legends carrying the flame to kick off the countdown to the February 6 games. With that, I'm Muhammed. I'm Hamdan. Thanks for watching and stay safe.